What's up, man? It's Mr. Hanky checking in. I'm taking over the show today because Tampa didn't show up, but you in the magic room with Mr. Hanky. It's my room. Oh, shit. Boom, magic.
Hey, what's happening? You already know what's going on, man. It's your girl, Misty, aka TampaMystic, and we are in the magic room. And today I got my special guest checking in. Shout out to Mr. Hanky. What's happening?
I'm good. How you doing? Happy to be here in the magic room.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's very magical. We're going to make some magic happen today. You make a lot of magic happen in your career, so I'm so excited, to be talking about it.
Okay,
so, let's just get started with it. Who is Mr. Hanky?
Mr. Hanky is a producer, songwriter, hit maker, influencer, all that kind of stuff, man. Whatever everybody put in their bio, that's what I do.
You are a major hit maker, I must say.
Link in bio.
Link bio. Mr. Link in bio.
That's me.
Nah, I know that's right. I know you're originally from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Atlanta is such an influential city. I've been coming to Atlanta back and forth since the Freaknik days. I was coming here back in the 90s.
Ooh.
With my homegirl. Just turning up. And I told myself back then, I said, I'm going to live there one day.
See?
I said, I'm going to live. I was young back then.
You telling on yourself right now, but that's a whole nother interview.
Hey, I'm an OG. I'm an OG. We had fun back in the day, big dog. Don't judge a girl. Anyways.
That's before social media. It was going down.
It was wild. Ooh. It was so, but you know what was so cool? It was just a wild fun and there was no craziness. You know what I'm saying?
You never felt threatened? Or,
never. Never. And we were two young females coming up here and we never felt threatened or uncomfortable. It was just a good time. People were in the streets partying, just turning up.
Right.
And I always said, man, I'm going to live there. And I'll tell you, Atlanta was a big influence on me as far as music. I'm taking the Dungeon Family era, Outkast, Goody Mob, growing up in Atlanta, what was it like for you?
You had Jade Tapes, they was the first mixtape crew in the city. A lot of people don't know that. And then you had people like Kizzy Rock, DJ Smurf, Mr. Collab that I grew up on
Shout
working
out
with.
Collab.
He gave me my first shot as a producer, so it's crazy. It's like a big old circle, you know what I'm saying? How things always come back around. Because, when I first started, I started working with Smurf, who is Mr. Collab, and he was part of the original architects of this whole thing, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think Atlanta is one of them cities that not only is there opportunity here already, but it's a city that you can come and create your own opportunities.
Exactly.
And I learned that, I moved here almost 7 years ago and I took my step out on faith and decided to do this music business full time. And it was the best decision I ever made. It's a city of opportunity. Who were some of the artists that when you was younger growing up, who were some of the artists that you were like, yo, I need to work with them?
You know what's crazy? Because I started sampling a lot lately. So now I'm working with a lot of those people people like Keith Sweat. I got a new single coming out with him.
What?
And not really with him, but I sampled some of his
stuff.
stuff.
I was gonna say he's like one of my faves.
But he's involved, and we go get into the studio and work on some stuff.
That's dope.
With this new artist named Kissy Lee. She got a record called My Love. It's crazy. Some of the older people like Kilo, I worked with him before.
Yep.
Yin Yang Twins, worked with them. A lot of us grew up in the same neighborhood, same side of town, East Atlanta. And like I said, I went to school with a lot of these rappers that people call legends and stuff. So it's crazy. It's just you just never know.
That's right.
And I think that's the dope thing about it. I think that's why it thrives so much because we have such a respect for everybody in the game. I've seen you out here doing your thing, working with artists, doing your thing. And so you just treat everybody with respect because you never know, TampaMystic might go from just doing stuff on Instagram. Now she got the Magic Room. Magic Room could be like the Breakfast Club one day.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going for.
Exactly. So I love it. I love the culture, all the artists. I've worked with everybody I want to work with here, and it's crazy. And I think the crazy part about it is they be like, yeah, man, I know your work. I be like, damn, for real? They start naming oh, I love this, I love that.
Yeah.
So that's always a shocking feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's dope though.
Because you've made some big hits. Shout out to Colonel Loud. Let's talk about the California record.
Woo!
I mean, I think one of those records that's just timeless. It's never going to get old. It can be played at any time, any event, any venue, any setting, anywhere. And it's just one of them songs that's just going to put such a great vibe onto the situation. Talk to us about how that record came about.
I forgot where I was, man. And Frankie Beverly and Mays Wheel 1 came on, and I don't know what we was drinking, and somebody was smoking something in the air, and
there's some good girls in
yeah,
there. Right.
somebody was smoking something good, but somebody had some mid. I think people who smoke mid should be arrested. Okay, can we get that campaign going?
Yes,
if you call mid, we should break that code. Like, you should be able to snitch on people who smoke mid. Like,
all y'all going to jail.
Keisha, come get them. Come get them.
Yeah,
Keisha,
come on, Keisha.
Rockdale, everybody, just go put them in jail. But anyway, so what had happened was, I know where I was. I was in the department store.
Okay.
On Edgewood.
Yeah.
And this one, they was having the playlist thing. Shout out to everybody that do the playlist thing. And I was one of the people. Somebody played Frankie Beverly Mays Wheel 1. And I was like, dang, that shit be crazy. Like, you put a rapper on it. So it's so crazy. My friend Keisha, that manages 11th Street Studio, she's a dope writer. And I sent it to her. She put this crazy record on it, on the beat. So I remember sending it to Boosie. We was trying to get like, it wasn't even California. It was like a whole love record.
Oh.
But it was like a hood ghetto love record. It was crazy. And we was trying to get like Boosie and Keisha Cole. She was popping at the time. They were trying to get the Jeezy and K Michelle, because him and Keisha Cole fell out. And none of them would take it. And so, just a shout out to, just a tip for all producers or artists or songwriters, like, if, the people you intended it for, if they don't like it or they don't take it, that's not the end of the record.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, and don't put it in the throwaway beat or the throwaway song. There's no such thing as that.
No, it's just not for them in particular.
There you
Someone else is going to make a hit from it.
There you go. So that's one of my pet peeves. People are like, oh, that's a throwaway song. I'm like, bro, it could be a hit for somebody. But anyway, I had been working with Colonel Loud through our publicist at the time, and that's how we met. And he was doing all these hard songs, these street record songs. And he's a grown man.
Yeah.
Like, he's a real grown man. And I'm like, why you doing these? Like, why we keep trying to do this young nigga shit? Like, this don't make sense, man. You a boss. Like,
yeah, let's do some
real
grown man boss music.
Right.
Some of the ladies are gonna like.
But what was ironic about it, I ain't even have to sell it on him. I just played it for him and his manager. Shout out to Pocket. As soon as I put it on, they both were like, woo, that's it right there. That's it. And so I'm a firm believer in, I never got caught up in trying to chase, whoever the hottest artist is. Like, I ain't chasing Lil Baby. Shout out to Lil Baby, but that ain't how you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I just made sure that it was the best possible record for the song, and that was it.
And it's a hit. And you and him created magic together. Magic room. A little sprinkle. And I think that was a big breakthrough for him.
It was.
That's a major blessing. And since, and it goes back to before then. Like you said, you worked with a lot of other artists as well. Of course, Jeezy, Young Dolph. Shout out DJ Luke Nasty.
Luke Nasty, another one.
On the Way.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite songs ever. Like, we were just singing it. Like, that song is so dope. Then, of course, let's talk about this little Duval situation. Smile, like.
That's another situation, like, just taking a chance on the situation. We was meeting up to do an intro for another song. He was just going to do the intro for it, for Bebe, out in Dallas. Shout out to Bebe. And Bebe was like, man, I got the song done. I got a 0 on it. I got to put a little Duval on it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, he's like, you met him before? I'm like, nah, I ain't never really met. I've seen him in passing, but
right.
Like, because in Atlanta everybody stars. So
facts, absolutely.
We all lit.
We all superstars.
Even the people at American Deli, like they be like, man, Well, you ain't get no extra fries. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they own some bougie stuff over there too.
Right.
Like, nah.
It's 50 cents for lemon pepper sprinkle. I don't care who you think you is. My mixtape popping too. But and so so we were just sitting around and we we were smoking and shit. You know, I had to smoke with him. You know, peer pressure, and made the artist comfortable. That's the only reason why I hit it. And
it wasn't mid, was it?
Nah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't mid at all. No, he had some.
It was that good gas.
Yeah, cause I ain't have to. I barely inhaled it like Bill Clinton, but about 2-3 times, and
and you was right.
I was good.
You was good to go.
And we was talking. I don't know what he was saying, and I just interrupted him. I was like, "Hey man, you got something for that smile bitch shit you be doing on the internet?" He was like, "Nah, I need some." I was like, "You need to do a song to that."
Oh yes.
And that's what it was. I pulled that beat up, and ironically, when I did that beat, I did the beat since we're talking about Colonel Loud. I did that beat the same time I did the California.
Man, you got some hits. Any upcoming producers out there? Like I get a lot of producers that want me to manage them. They want me to give them advice.
Don't do none of it.
And you know that's.
I'm joking.
Give me 1-2 really good tips. Any upcoming producers out there, like something they should do and something they shouldn't do.
What you shouldn't do is upload your beats on YouTube and say Roddy Ricch type beat. Or just put them up there for YouTube for just for getting my name out there. Because you're not getting your name out there. You're putting yourself in a position to where the artists, the labels, they don't trust this whole internet process. So they'll come to somebody that they trust, another producer with the name, and they'll pull your beat up and say, I need something like this. And they'll pay me top dollar for it, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, Bootylicious Beats, whatever your name is, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I do it my way. Of course, you don't understand, but the actual vibe of it, they done wrote a whole hit off of it, and we gone to the radio, and you at home, talking about free leases or exclusives for $59.99.
Right.
So, kind of be more exclusive to it. Nobody wants. You can't sell leftovers.
Right. Absolutely. And the thing too is, I'll tell you. Speaking on that, one of the most embarrassing things that I think can happen is I've been at events where 2 artists will perform on the same beat, and I'm embarrassed for them because when the first artist gets up there, it's okay, but when the second one, they just got this look of distress on their face, and that's because they're going to places like YouTube and just randomly downloading beats. And you need to build relationships with producers. Let them cook up for you. Yeah, it might cost you a little bit more money, but now you got an exclusive.
Yeah, and you can sleep at night, and you're not going to be embarrassed with the sloppy seconds. When somebody, you don't want to walk in a party telling everybody, with your family or your friends and family, like, I want y'all to meet this new girl. And everybody in the room was smashed already.
Ran a train, ran right through her. Right, exactly. Right, same thing with the beat.
It's the same thing with the beat. Everybody walk in,
like, man, I done heard this beat like 800 times. That one?
That one?
That beat? Oh.
And then this is the funny part. Then they get up there with a whole bunch of jewelry talking about how much money they got.
Right.
You don't have no money because you should have bought the beat.
And
since you bought it.
The other funny thing that cracks me up too about those situations is when they send me a song and they haven't even leased it and it still has a producer tag all through the song. Getyourbeats.com. Getyourbeats.com. Stop doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least if your budget's not all the way there, at least lease the beat. Don't download it as a sample and loop it and it's got the producer's tag. You can leave the producer tag at the beginning. Please give the producer their credit. But don't use the version where it's got their tag all the way through the song and put it out because it's never going to go. You can't do nothing with that.
It's terrible. And another thing I would tell up-and-coming producers is collab with known producers. Of course, they do charge, but you have to understand it's an easier way for you to get your name out there attached to somebody else who could possibly get,
absolutely
different circles. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So that's a cheat code. And I do that.
So that's a do.
Yeah.
You gave us a don't, and then that's a do that you need to do is get out there and start meeting. Because I have a producer that I work with right here at Ark Studios. Shout out Jay Fresh Beats. Shout out to PJ. One of the things that Jay Fresh and I were talking about is he was inspired by a producer. I have a friend of mine, Sean the First, and he's done a lot of work with DaBaby. And he's got some big hit records. He's probably done 35 songs with DaBaby before he was who he is now.
Okay.
And he came through here. I set him up with a session, and Jay Fresh is like, man, I'm so inspired. I want to get some bigger placements. Just touch on that slightly. Like, if there's an up-and-coming producer and they got quality beats, what steps could they potentially take? And not necessarily saying going straight to someone like DaBaby, but to get with the Colonel Lows or guys that are really on the rise. Any tips on that?
Well, the main thing is really just be smart. Like, don't be so emotional. Like, be a businessman. Like, okay, if you see somebody out here really moving, really making moves for real, before you need to latch on to them like your guy did.
Yes.
Before they pop, because they're going to pop.
Right.
Eventually, if you see them, getting booked, you see their following growing online. You might not get paid, initially, but you got the relationship, and then when they do pop, you're in the conversation. You're there, and it's a lot easier to make that happen if you're there from day one.
Facts. Absolutely. That's great advice. Absolutely. Get with some of these artists that are, they've got good music, but they haven't quite made it to that point yet. And come up with them.
There you go.
Like come people
like, shout out to like people like Cash got Throat Babies and stuff.
Shout out Cash. That's the homie right there.
Yeah. Like he's up next. I got a record with him. I ain't even heard it yet. I don't even know how he got the beat. But that's just how it goes.
But it's cool because you're right. He is,
yeah.
And it's so dope because I remember seeing him performing at a lot of the events and stuff, and just to see his elevation. It's just, I love seeing these artists on the rise, and that's a step that these artists can't skip either. They got to get out and do these events. They got to perform. They got to network. They got to meet people. What's next for Mr. Hanky?
Working on my project, and I got a Kissy Lee single coming out soon. I got a record with DJ Infamous. We got Tory Lanez, Jacquees, and B. Smith on it. I got records with City Girls. Man, I got a lot of records.
That's big. You've got some hits out there. If any artists or artists that are tuned in, or other producers that might want to collab with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you professionally and have your budget ready?
Yep. They can hit me on my social media at a Mr Hanky Beat or a MrHankyBeat.com, or they can hit up Tampa. She's my manager on Sundays.
Yeah.
Between 12 and 6. And then after that, you got to meet me at the post office.
And you got to have your super budget ready if you come holler at me, you know what I'm saying?
Because whatever I really charge, she going to put double on
yeah, we capping.
So
we putting that extra fee on there if you get what I'm saying.
I'm just so.
Yeah. That's what he said. So the last thing that I want you to tell the people about is your name. Mr. Hanky. Mr. Hanky Panky.
Yeah, I got the name from South Park, the Talking Turd, because like in real life, I'm the shit, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of fit, you feel me? I'm dead ass shit, what you laughing at?
I believe you, but it's just funny you're like, the Talking Turd, because I'm the shit.
I'm the shit, you know what I'm saying? No, I got the name in college too, and that's really where it came from. And that was it. It just stuck.
I love it.
So yeah, I would go to class and the teachers would be like, "Yo, hey, what?" And they were like, "Who the fuck is Corey Denard?" I was like, "Oh, that's me." I thought your last name was Hanky. I was like, "It's whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here, present.
Present.
Present. He's so silly. Well, listen. Definitely a pleasure. I appreciate you taking some time and springing that little magic dust that you got inside the magic room.
I'm gonna be on time next time. I'm tell the magic room I was late as hell.
It's all good.
Cause my I don't know. I seen 6 on the thing.
It's okay. He just needs some new glasses. That's all, y'all.
Nah.
That's what's up. Tell everybody again where they can keep up with you. Your website, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that, man. You can find me at a Mr Hanky Beat, AMRHANKYBEAT. On Instagram, all social media, at MrHankyBeat.com. I got an OnlyFans, same shit on OnlyFans. I ain't naked on there, not yet, because I ain't got that many subscribers. But when I get a few, I'm gonna be naked.
Listen, there's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on that joint.
Yeah.
He said he gonna get naked for y'all when he gets some more subscribers.
No, for real, no. But I got also but I'm gonna do like a lot of little, tutorials for producers and stuff. I get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot to try to answer everybody individually. So I'm gonna just do like that, and possibly like on OnlyFans, some subscription based.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea because people always have questions, and if you had to sit down and take the time with every single person, you wouldn't have time to make all the hits you're making.
Too much.
So if you do those tutorials, y'all might have to pay a little subscription fee because his knowledge is power, and it took him time to gain all that knowledge. It didn't cost him no dollars. It cost him a whole lot of dollars to get where you're at. This is not a business based off of no money. You gotta come with the budget.
Real money.
Facts. Well, once again, we about to get up out of here. It is the Magic Room. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Shout out Shot for Shot Imagery. Hey.